Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Timeless Season 2, Episode 3. It is called Hollywoodland. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, first thing I want to say about this one, because obviously it deals with Hollywood. It goes back to, what was the exact year? Was it 40?
41, I think.
41. Makes sense, given the movie that's in question. I wasn't sure if it was a year before the movie came out.
Yeah. No, I get you.
But yeah, so go back to 1941, and it's all about saving Citizen Kane is the thing. But they're in Hollywood. They're going around the Paramount Picture studio, and what was really funny about this one, and this happened a couple of times last season, and it's kind of funny that this season it's happened again. Although a bit more of a gap between them, but there was an episode of Legends of Tomorrow this season, maybe a few months ago.
Yeah,
It dealt with Hollywood, and it dealt specifically with Hedy Lamarr. She was a plot point in that show as well, because Stein had a crush on her.
Yeah.
And I remember commenting saying, "Oh, I didn't know she was an inventor and she did all this stuff and she was a scientist and engineer and whatnot." And then, so this episode's doing the whole thing. I'm like, this is all really good, but I know this already. Legends covered it. Which isn't a fault of the episode. It's just kind of funny that the two time travel shows both, because even one of the last two episodes did something similar time period as another episode of Legends this year. What was last week? Last week was the race, and it wasn't that one. What was the first one?
World War One.
No, it wasn't that. There was something in one of the last two episodes that made me think of an episode of Legends this year. It wasn't the time period clearly, but there was something.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
The shows do share a lot of similarities.
Yeah, it was just funny, and then add into the fact that fake Jay Garrick is also in this episode. As soon as he popped up,
that didn't help, did it?
I was like, "There's Jay, there's Jay everywhere."
Oh, the meme returns.
Oh dear. So go back in time, and like last week, they don't know what's the significance of this time period in LA. Well, the war's going on, but that's not involved. In LA, America's not involved in that yet. What's going on? So they have to go to Flynn, who's like, "Well, you're gonna have to get me out of here." And it's like, "Okay, right, we'll see what we can do, but come on, fess up." So they get back to this, and it's all a plot to steal Citizen Kane in exchange for this other company, this big wig who's got like a, basically controls like a newspaper or whatever.
Yeah, Hearst.
We want to call him. Did you recognise the name? I was unfamiliar with
that. This is a weird thing. I've for some reason never seen Citizen Kane, but all the stuff that they're talking about, I know all that story. It was in the You Must Remember This podcast. They did a whole series about all this stuff. So
that's why you know all that then.
So I know all of this stuff. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah.
I have not heard that, so I was not familiar with that name or any of the other names that were flying around outside of the obvious ones like Orson Welles. But I have seen Citizen Kane, so when Lucy spoiled Citizen Kane, I'm like, that's not a spoiler for me. I've seen that.
I don't think it's really a spoiler for anyone at this point, is it?
It could be. I remember being annoyed when it brought up in something before I'd seen it.
I get that. I think
it was Frasier. There was an episode of Frasier where Frasier was frustrated because he was trying to avoid spoilers all week for something that he recorded, right? And he kept almost having it spoiled, and he kept getting away with it, and then eventually everything got spoiled, like just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And he got so angry, he stormed out the room screaming the plot twists to like five famous movies, and I knew all of them except Citizen Kane, and that one pissed me off. I was like, "God damn you!"
No, that's fair. It's one of those where I'm with you on hating spoilers no matter how long it's been, but I kind of just accept that it's going to happen past a certain point.
Oh, sure.
Unfortunately, the point now is not very long, but when it's a movie that's 70 years old, I'm like, yeah, all right, fine, I probably heard it.
Oh yeah, the internet, you can barely make it to Sunday after a movie came out on a Friday without
exactly
like try to avoid spoilers. Because I even saw a headline about Pacific Rim 2 on Twitter, and it didn't spoil it in the headline, but I'm like, I would make the assumption based on what they said.
Okay, I'm glad I haven't seen it then. But I mean, it happened to you last year with Split.
Oh, that was pissed. They had an image that's just... So the title didn't spoil it, but then the image with it was like, okay, well, 2 and 2.
Yeah, no. There was a site recently that... I can't remember what website it was, but it was about an episode of Star Wars Rebels, and it was towards the end, and someone died towards the end of the show. And they basically the headline said, "How will show deal with blank's death?" And then I was like, well, that was a dick move. This was like half an hour after the episode had aired. And then in the text is like, oh, by the way, spoilers ahead. I'm like, yeah, it's a bit bloody late for that.
There's no respect. There's no respect from these things. But of course, there's a joke in this where the word spoiler wasn't a thing.
Yes.
In this context, of course, Hedy Lamar's like, what's a spoiler? What's going on? And obviously, as per usual, I enjoyed all the fun references to things because Rufus is pretending to be this famous writer, and he's like, no one knows what a writer looks like. It's fine. I'll just don't think it. It's fine. And at this time, that was probably true. I mean, obviously nowadays we have IMDb, and you know.
I mean, yeah, it's even now. It depends on the writer. Like the higher, more notable ones.
Yeah,
I don't think you can get away with those.
Now with making of documentaries and everything else, it's more likely to know what they look like now. But I especially buy that, or I wouldn't buy that. I'm like a movie studio head, wouldn't know what these writers look like, or who the big writers in the game look like.
That's fair. That's a fair criticism.
Yeah. Well, it's not really a criticism. I was just saying today this like.
Oh yeah, no chance.
No chance. But hey, so that's the whole thing. But there's a lot of fun jokes here, where like, the person he's pretending to be is also supposed to be a poet. So Hedy Lamarr, who's very smart and keeps kind of second guessing, like, you're not really from there. You're not really doing this. And she's like, oh, give me your newest poem. And he's like, oh, I'm not a performer. I just write. No, go on, give us your latest poem. And then he's as if it were a poem, he says out the lyrics to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's opening theme. And this is the thing, that song is so memorable that the first line, I'm like, I know what this is.
Yeah. You get like 2 or 3 words in, it's like, right, okay, I see where this is going. It's just how long is he going to play it for? Because
he was stalling before he said it, and I was like, right, is he going to say like a poem that he would just happen to know from the future? Because that's kind of the running gag here with a lot of these time travel shows, is that they'll bring something up, like they try and pitch him Hamilton as a musical, and he's like, that'll never work, and then later on we find out the villain is like trying to get Jurassic Park made.
Yeah. Even just things like referencing studios or actors who aren't big or even exist yet.
Oh yeah, because he's like, yeah, if you don't take our movie, we'll go to MGM or the other studios, because he doesn't know which ones exist yet.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. I'd be completely sure. Universal definitely did.
Yeah.
Fox.
There was 5 big ones at the time, right?
Yeah. Because I'm just thinking, because Universal celebrated their 100th. Obviously, MGM's ancient. Paramount's ancient. I don't know if Warner Brothers and Fox were quite things yet.
I don't think they were.
At least not with those names.
Obviously, we had RKO.
Yeah. That's the one that always gets mentioned at this time period, which is funny because obviously we don't talk about them anymore.
No.
I don't know, but I mean, the point being is, again, it's just one of those little things. There was lots of little moments like that where they'd say something without realizing that's something they wouldn't understand, and I almost appreciate the writing here, where it was like, our characters aren't necessarily always aware of what they're saying, because things come naturally, and then the older characters from the time period are like, hey, what the hell does that mean, or what was that? What? Like, I kind of appreciate that, because it felt natural. It didn't feel like we're just doing this for the sake of a dumb little joke. It felt like, no, that feels very natural that she would say, oh, I've been avoiding spoilers. It's like, what's a spoiler?
Yeah.
Or more specifically, she said, the Rosebud thing. Spoiler, it's a sled. Spoiler? What? And of course, actually, my favourite part of that scene actually is earlier on, Rufus and Lucy are giving Wyatt shit because he's not seen Citizen Kane, and during that scene when they're bragging about seeing it, he's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen it. It's a very good film."
Fantastic, they both just give him this look.
Yeah, it was the look in their faces just killed me during that scene. Also, they're just shoplifting their clothes in the time period. In fact,
budget's got cut.
Not only. Well, that's.
I know, I'm kidding.
Yeah, they're still getting the outfits, so the budget's not.
I know, but their budget.
Oh, their budget, yeah, sure. In the show's story, their budget got cut, yeah, sure. What I thought was funny, though, later on, Lucy just shows up in a new dress, like, is that a new dress? Like, oh, that's my favourite time period. And I'm like, did you just go shoplift another dress? Like, is that what just happened?
Yeah, I think so.
You're a history professor.
Hey, like she says, the tags aren't invented till the 60s, but they're good.
Also, shoplifting was very easy before the 60s then, apparently.
Apparently.
Yeah, dear. I was a line from Rufus that killed me as well when I got to the fancy party. He's like, "Oh, there's more security here than Nazi Germany. Also, less black guys." That was a really funny line. So no, like, so obviously we've been dancing around with the plot because the plot is really they're there to like sort of worm their way into this party, find out what's going on. They get the film reels back. We do see, what was his name? Lucas was Jay's character. We see him get dropped off, 15 years ago, and he's one of these sleeper agents who've worked his way up, and now he's big head, studio exec in Hollywood, big producer, and he's the one making the deal, and he's not dead at the end. That's worth mentioning. He gets away, so I'm kind of expecting to see him again.
Probably. You can't kill Jay.
Of course you can't, can you? But he didn't die, right?
I don't think so.
No. Yeah, I don't think it did.
I don't remember him dying.
Yeah, no. But here's the big talking point, right? Big talking point. So, Lucy has our singing moment, right? It's like, because obviously they're pretending to be like, singers in this musical, and the Paramount head's like, "Hey, give us a song," and they're like, "No, we're good, we're good." And Wyatt, of course, is like, "Well, I can't sing, but you mentioned you sang in school or something. You go up." Like,
yeah. If I sing, cover's blown.
Yeah, so you go up and sing, and sure enough, she goes up, and she's kind of shit at first, but she kind of gets into it.
Yeah.
And they have this kind of a moment, and I'm like, okay, right. So, because obviously in the previously on, they were really like, not only did they mention the romance, they mentioned, "Oh, remember his dead wife." I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mentioned it like episode or two ago.
Here's the thing, though. See, when you said they'll get together and then his wife will show up somehow, that's when the time stream will be changed again and she'll be there. I 100% agree with that. However, I thought it might be an episode or two between the two events. I did not think they're going to do it in this episode. And here's the thing. I knew exactly what caused it as soon as it happened.
Yeah.
Because that's this security guard or police officer, whoever he is, who comes in when the whole thing's going down, when they're getting the film reels back. He gets shot by the bad guys. And he dies. And they feel really guilty, but it's like, hey, we can't be around to answer for this. We have to go. And I'm like, alright. So who's his grandson or granddaughter? like this is affecting something. Presumably, something down the line that changed, that stopped her from dying, right? Domino effect,
yeah.
Right? And I'm like, okay. And it's funny because obviously by this point they'd already had sex, and and I'll give the credit for a relationship that I wasn't necessarily excited about back in season 1 for some time. I thought the scene where they're by the pool and they were kind of, it's kind of beyond flirting at that point, but they were sort of having a heart to heart. I was like, oh, this is actually kind of working. Like they're kind of like they're nailing. I think it was just down to writing and like the actors just kind of nailing the moments and the mood, and the bit where he says she's not hideous and she's like, oh, keep it coming, all these compliments. Like, how can I handle all this? So it was working, and then she joked about saving his. Like he's like, oh, you saved my life, and she's like, well, what's time? The Alamo, she listed like 3 or 4 time periods they'd went to, and I was like, okay, right, so they're kind of nailing this. And even when like Rufus walks in them in the morning, like, oh, busted, he'll be quiet.
Yeah, the only thing I really criticize is when it's actually getting into the moment, the music's going, and then it cuts off for the break, and it felt like it cut off at a really awkward moment, like it was.
Oh, just a weird edit.
Yeah, I think just the flow wasn't quite there for the cut.
Yeah, that's fair. That happens sometimes.
It does. It felt really sudden, and I was like, oh, okay, that's it.
But yeah, obviously Rufus was having some fun with it as well. It's like, I'm going to tell Gia. I won't tell anyone else, but I'm definitely telling Gia.
I'm telling Gia.
Yeah, but of course he gets the text. They get back and they're all happy. They're far too happy for TV. He gets the text and he's like, "Oh, I need to go," and I'm like,
"Okay,
all right, okay." So she's alive. There we go. And then he goes and sees her, and not Kate Mara is standing there, and he hugs her.
Yep.
I'll be honest, she's so Kate Mara looking that I thought it was Kate Mara, and I was like, she's too big of an actress to be on Timeless.
Do you know what? It never occurred to me, but as soon as you've said it, I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she looks a lot like Kate Mara. The hair and everything. She has the.
She does. Yeah.
The not the bad wig from Fantastic Four, but she has the
proper hair.
The proper hair, yeah. got that rocking. So obviously that'll open a can of worms that we'll get exploring in the next episode. And I mean, I think as much as we criticise for how predictable it was that they were going to do this as soon as they got together, and I do think do it in the same episodes a little bit like
give it some time.
Yeah, let them be happy for 2 or 3 episodes before you pull this. That's it. It's only a 10-episode season, so I guess they're being economical with that.
I get that. I just feel, it just proves the cynic in me right.
Well, I think that's the thing. I don't blame them for doing it because there is a lot of drama potential from Wyatt being in this position where he's fallen in love with someone new, but now his wife who died is back.
Yeah, no, I get it.
What I thought was interesting though is how her reaction to him. I thought was a little interesting because she was wearing a ring, of course, but she didn't necessarily look like pleased to see him or even like confused as to why he's there while she's working. You know,
yeah,
it was very kind of like it was almost like. I don't think they're actually doing this because, again, it makes for the drama to work. It makes sense that she is still with him, but it almost kind of felt like she thought they'd broken up and she was with someone else. But the way he's acting is like, this is weird.
Here's what I'll say as what I would assume is the most likely possibility in my mind.
All right.
She's pissed at him because he's been off the books underground for months and hasn't been in contact with her.
Ah, okay, yeah, I can see that.
And then. She's been obviously texting him, repeatedly trying to get him back, talk to him, see where he is, and now he just shows up out of the blue.
That makes sense. Because it was her reaction. I thought that's.
Yeah. But I'm assuming everything still happened the same on our end, where he's still been in the bunker with everyone else for the last few months.
I can see that. So yeah, we've got that to play with next time. So we'll see where that goes. I actually really liked how they get Flynn out of prison.
Yeah, that was fun.
Like, because Christopher just gives him like a bit of paper, and it's like, what's the plan? And then you go back to like they're back in 41 still, and they're like, okay, we need to go and travel to the prison. I'm like, oh, they're going to set something up in the past so that you can get out. And sure enough, they set up like a little gas mask and some instructions. Because they get back and like, okay, we pulled off the prison job, and she's like, I know, he's out.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah. So
of course, here he is, out he steps.
Yep. Everyone's not trusting him, and we've got all this stuff going on. I'm actually really looking forward to Flynn being kind of on the team, and it does make me wonder. Come next mission, like, does he get to go instead of someone else?
Right now, I assume at least next week it'll be instead of Wyatt.
Yeah, because he'll be busy with his undead wife.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll be my assumption for next week at least. After that, I'm not sure how they play it. Because you can't leave Wyatt every episode, otherwise that's just
of course, yeah.
Weird. But you can't leave Rufus because he's the pilot. Of
course, and he'll want to go with Lucy, so this all makes sense. Yeah. Also, I like that I can call her undead. It doesn't work in the traditional context, but it actually completely works.
It's technically true, yeah.
Yeah, she's undead. She was dead, and now she's not dead. Therefore, she is undead.
Yes.
Interesting stuff with Gia. So we find out some stuff here where Christopher finds out about the seizures and the visions. And I was like, Gia, just because she says at one point, I don't know if they're visions though. So what do you think they are? I'm like, just tell her about the burn. Tell her about the burn. Come on.
I know.
And she doesn't quite do that. But we find out from Mason that this kind of happened actually. This is because they knew this was unsafe to send more people, because when they were doing experiments, they had 2 pilots who had these same symptoms, and one died from an aneurysm, and then the other one is like still in a hospital.
It's schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia, yeah. And from that I was like, okay, maybe not the aneurysm, but I'm thinking, okay, that sounds like something he couldn't handle what was going on. But if Gia learns what's actually happening to her and she understands it better, she can maybe learn to like control it. And...
Yeah. I can see by them, because the schizophrenic, I assume it's actually he's seeing multiple timelines and he can't handle it.
Yeah.
The aneurysm, I mean, maybe it was the same. He just couldn't handle it, and his brain just popped, basically.
Yeah. But the interesting part though is that she does get seen by a conventional doctor. I like how they never showed the doctor. I was like, well, you clearly this is someone you trust, Christopher, because you bring them out of the super secret base to check her out. But we never see who it is, so whatever.
Oh well, don't have to pay someone else.
I'll be honest, it did kind of feel like a budget thing. I feel like that's just not pay an actor, that's just off camera. But so this is an interesting thing. She mentions that she's completely healthy, nothing wrong with her brain or heart, but what's weird about that is that she has had a heart murmur her entire life, and that's why she didn't do which track she said specifically she didn't do.
Yeah.
But she wasn't allowed to do athletic things because of this, and she's had that her whole life. But for some reason, it's not there anymore, and that is very curious.
Yes, as she says, she is literally the healthiest she's ever been.
It's interesting because I'm like, okay, did this just kind of change her body somehow? Like, did it take like her heart from an alternate timeline?
That's what I thought. I was like, okay, is this some sort of different timelines bleeding into her?
Yeah, like
one where she's healthier.
Well, here's the thing: is that why the other one went schizophrenic? Because it's actually two versions of him occupying the same body.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, and he doesn't know how to handle that. Whereas maybe for Gia it'll be easier because maybe her other version is very similar, but obviously healthier. Therefore, here's a better heart. Oh, it makes me wonder: is other Gia in another timeline suddenly got a heart murmur, and she's like, "What the hell? I was fine yesterday."
I mean, I think you can just get that. So
you can, but still, it's funny from our perspective because we know
it is, yeah. But to her, she'd be like, "Well, this sucks."
Yeah, but to us, it's like, nah, I got swiped. Your good heart got swiped by a doppelganger.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. I'm not sure what else it could be right now.
I'm just thinking if our working theory right now is that she somehow got a heart, or she's merged with another version of herself from an alternate timeline, and I'm just thinking of the schizophrenia. I'm sort of thinking, oh, okay, so is that why he's schizophrenic specifically? Because he's like sort of like flicking between multiple versions of himself. It's not just that he's seen multiple timelines. It's that him himself is kind of flickering between. Which
begs the question: the things that she's seeing, are they memories from the other version of her? Like, and they trigger on something. Something triggers them. Like, oh, that reminds me of this thing, and it kind of triggers in this weird way.
Maybe here's the thing. The way this show deals with its time travel is that it's not like when something happens in the past, it's instant in the future, right?
Right.
We have this thing where it's kind of concurrent in time until they come back and then it's set in stone.
Yeah, there's like a little delay.
And I'm wondering if like what she's seeing, it's kind of like for her it is instant in a weird way because it's already kind of happened.
Okay.
I'm wondering if that's kind of played into like for her, she's like aware of changes, whereas for everyone else it's not until the others come back that there's like a defined point where okay, now let's check the websites and see if anything's changed.
So are we thinking that one point where they're trying to figure out what the sleeper agent's doing, what they've done, and they can't find anything, Flynn doesn't know anything about this time, Gia will have some sort of vision, it'll be an alternate version, it'll be like, oh, that's what's changed.
I think she'll I think that's where it'll kind of prove what she is, or what she's seeing to everyone else. Like, she's maybe getting an inkling right now because of the burn thing, but she's obviously still doubting herself. She's not necessarily, she's not confident enough to say, hey, Rufus, I'm seeing alternate timelines, or I'm seeing the future. Like,
right.
She's not confident enough yet, but if she sees something that looks like it might help, and says, hey guys, I've got a bit of a hunch, just go with this. I do think it's funny now that twice in a row that it's been a thing where Lucy's like, oh, I don't know what's specific to that place on that date, and because it's just funny because that never happened last year. Every time.
Well, and to be fair, I think the difference is last year they were always going to actual events which she could know, whereas now,
sure, yeah, I just think
it's happened yet for her to know about.
Oh, I just think it's funny though that never once last year did Thingy take the ship to like just a random time. It at least seemed random from their perspective.
No, that's fair. Like I said though, I think last season they were always targeting a specific event and stopping it from happening or changing the way it happened. Whereas this season they're causing events, but because those events haven't happened yet, there's no way for them to know about it in the future.
Do you know what I really want now? I want an episode where they go back to 1984. Because them stealing clothes from a shop will just be that scene from the Terminator, where Keller was just running through the department store and just grabbing things.
Well, that's true. I mean, hey, it's not unfeasible. We'll head to the 80s.
Hey, actually, they could just do like a Terminator plot for an episode, like, oh, the Rittenhouse is going back to kill someone, so someone's not born. We need to go back and save them.
Yeah, they could.
I feel like, I mean, essentially I've done that in some ways anyway, like, like Lincoln, for example. Well, Lincoln was kind of different, but you know what I mean. Like
No, I'm with you, but they could do
Yeah.
it more directly.
Yeah, they could just full out do Terminator and have Rufus point out, hey, this is a lot like Terminator.
Yeah, but hey, some plans just work.
They do. I'm fine with those ideas. Uh, it was a solid episode. I
I agree.
think what I think's interesting about this one is that it did make the actual mission much simpler because it wanted to focus on the character like connections and drama and romance because it gave that a lot of time. Whereas the actual mission it was mostly just here's some fun scenes of them talking to some Hollywood folk. Oh, the meeting's going to take place here. Right, we'll go do that. The actual, the tension of the mission was really just the one scene.
Pretty much.
Well,
Yeah.
they actually go and confront it, and then of course they take care of the prison stuff in the past. So, but no, I mean it worked because I think most of the romance stuff actually was effective. I think my only real criticism is I really wish they hadn't brought back the wife in the same very episode.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, give it a couple at
Like I
least.
say, we knew it was coming because it made sense. It's the obvious dramatic choice. I understand that, and I understand why you want to do it.
Honestly, like, and like if this was a full 22 episode season, I'd say like, go at least half a season before you do it.
Yeah,
Have
here,
it be have them being a couple be the status quo for a good chunk of time, and then
I agree. Even in 10 episodes here, I say at least give it another two.
because I think that makes it even more dramatic because it's not just because here you could all from Wyatt's perspective you could almost argue well this just started being a thing and I was with my wife for a long time, whereas if they'd been together in the show's time for months, right, which is maybe 10 episodes or whatever, it's like well no I have a relationship with you, we've been building towards
Yeah,
something.
this is actually what's happening now.
Yeah.
And in some ways he'll have moved past the relationship with his wife.
Yeah, whereas now it's just early enough that I mean, don't get me wrong, I think he's going to be conflicted. I think there's going to be a lot of weird drama comes out of it, which is good. But yeah, yeah. I mean, again, it's not a huge complaint, but it's definitely something that I think's worth criticising. But
Yeah,
hey ho, here's hoping they do some good stuff with it.
yeah. Pretty fun episode overall, though.
Oh yeah, no, all the Hollywood stuff was fun and sneaking around back lots and going past matte paintings and various other things.
Yeah.
Old school Hollywood and all the rest of it. Man, I remember when films used to be talked about in reels. I've got all 6 reels.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it?
Hey, there you go. So that is this week's Timeless. So let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You can do that over there, but otherwise that is us. So thank you once again for watching. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla?